Hello, and welcome to the second episode of the Lehigh Valley with Love podcast TV show. Tyler, we didn't get canceled.
I know.
We're back.
We're lucky. You know, we kept it, pretty tight to the chest. So
We want to say thank you to everyone who watched, and we got a lot of great responses. And yeah, so it's been an exciting week, and we're happy to continue on.
What was your week like after being on a TV show?
I got recognized by one lady.
Really? Where?
I was at the Hyatt Bethlehem for something. I was there
What
for an
do you
event.
do?
She's like, wait, I think I know you from somewhere. And then I had to tell her what.
You checked in last week at 3 a.m.
I had to remind her where it was from. So it doesn't
Okay.
technically count,
Yeah.
but
That could go either way.
fun.
When somebody says that to you, I know you from somewhere.
No,
don't
you
just
don't.
assume it's your television show that's been on 1 week.
I always assume, like, if somebody says, hey, it's always negative. So I'm
Yeah.
always like, where do they know me
Yeah.
from?
Yeah.
It's not going to be good.
Yeah. All right. Well.
So what's in the news?
Well, I don't know if you saw that. You're familiar with the Allentown
Mm-hmm.
Art Museum. You spent a lot of time there.
Well, I've been there often, yes.
You'd get recognized there.
I don't think so.
Have you ever seen the Rembrandt photo there? The
You mean
portrait of a young woman?
The photo by
No,
Rembrandt?
it's not. I know it's not a photo.
The
it's a drawing or a painting.
The drawing by
I've never
Rembrandt?
been. I've
Yes,
never
this
been.
one, I have seen it. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about it, Tyler?
Well,
It's a
they just
painting
found
by
out that
Rembrandt.
it's official. There it is. See,
Yeah.
They sent it away, and they found out that it's in fact
Real.
genuine.
Well,
They called it a genuine masterpiece. Would people describe you as a genuine masterpiece?
Absolutely not.
No.
But it's really, like, can you imagine being at the Allentown Art Museum? You think, basically, they thought it was like a replica or
Right.
something to that effect. And now it's, who knows? It could be priceless
Yeah.
artifact.
Right here, right in our backyard. Also, I don't know what they did with. This is obviously a portrait of somebody.
Yes.
I've never seen a portrait from back in this day where anybody was enjoying their life.
Well,
They're
I think
all very sad.
It's not like you're sitting there for 10 seconds. Like, they're there for hours.
Yeah. So do you think they're like?
probably mad.
Why wouldn't they do the mouth first when they're happy to be there
That's a good
instead
point.
of probably doing the mouth at the end? We're like, is this over yet?
I don't know. I mean, maybe you could go back in time and ask Rembrandt himself.
No. Well, I have a little game for you to play. So I don't know how familiar you are with art, but I have a couple paintings, and I'm going to see if you can guess who the artist is. Okay.
All right.
So that's Rembrandt.
Yeah, we know that.
Let's show number 2.
That's Picasso.
Okay, you sure?
100%.
It's Picasso.
Okay.
Okay, let's show the next one.
Van Gogh.
Yes.
Yes.
That is Van
The
Gogh.
Starry Night. I even know what that's.
You're 2 for 2. All right, let's see if you can get the third and final one.
Did my daughter draw this? What is
No. You have to give one more guess.
Monet.
Nope, that's me.
Tyler Rothrock.
That's me right there.
Did someone describe that as a genuine masterpiece? How
Yeah, my
old were
mother.
you wait, tell me, that's from like elementary school, correct? When
I
did
was
you paint
31
that?
when I painted that.
Why?
I don't know. I found paint and I found a cardboard box. Look, I'm not an artist, man, but you know,
it's
better than the Picasso.
I'm actually impressed. You woke up one day and you're like, I'm going to paint a nice little scene.
Yeah, well, I Googled painting, and I YouTubed a video of painting, and I was like, let me see if I can do what this person's doing.
Why didn't you record this?
Because now I'm embarrassed that I even am talking about it.
It's great. You know another place you can see a lot of interesting paintings?
No.
The Hotel Bethlehem.
No, not paintings. There's a lot of photos there.
Well, there's photos on the wall of famous people. We're not on there, obviously. And they do have a grand ballroom with a lot of murals.
Okay.
That's our segue to talk about the video. Do you want to set it up a little bit?
Well, yeah, we did. It was Hotel Bethlehem was celebrating their what?
Their anniversary. So
No,
we
it was
went.
like 100th year,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, 100th year. And we went over to talk to some of the people that gathered and ask them some questions, some trivia questions about Hotel Bethlehem.
This was a lot of fun. So take a look. Hey everybody, it's Tyler Rothrock, and I'm at historical Hotel Bethlehem for Appreciation Day. We're going to ask some people some trivia questions. All right, I'm Tyler. You guys know that I'm here with
Jim Hollins.
Jim. Where are you from?
Bethlehem, PA.
Bethlehem, PA. All right, here's a trivia question for you.
Nothing about his hand?
I don't want to
Nothing about any amputation.
I don't want to take the elephant.
Like,
We are giving him an easy question on account of the hand. But which floor was taken over by a training army platoon for 9 months right here in Hotel Bethlehem? It's between 1 and 5.
3.
Nailed it.
Got it?
Yep. As many fingers as he has active on his hand.
Now go to the hospital.
I did not know.
We are here with.
Amelia Earhart.
Okay, well, this is very awkward because I have a trivia question about the Hotel Bethlehem, Amelia.
I was here once, spoke here.
Well, right. Other than yourself,
Yes.
what famous guests have stayed here? Name 2 others other than yourself.
Well, Winston Churchill. And let's think of another one. Oh, Dan Roca.
Dan Roebuck. We were looking for the Dalai Lama or...
Wait, Dan Roebuck was not alive when you were alive.
Yeah, how did
No,
you,
he wasn't.
Amelia, how do you know who Daniel
Well,
Roebuck is?
I've been lost for a while.
We're here with John from Bethlehem. All right, what year was the Hotel Bethlehem built?
What year was it built? Well, I'm trying to cheat, but I'll say 18 something.
No. Another guess. It's in the 1900s.
All right, then we'll go with 1921.
Very close.
What is it?
1922.
Oh,
He wins anyway. We're gonna give him a prize. 1922. All right, we're here with, what's your name?
Tony.
Tony, where are you from?
Schnecksville.
Schnecksville. All right. What friendly ghosts haunt Bethlehem Hotel?
Oh boy, I just saw this in the presentation too.
There's 3 of them.
I could not tell you. I don't know. Daddy something?
Okay, that's right.
Daddy?
I'll give you Daddy Thomas. Daddy
Thomas, that's it. Yes,
We're
and he
looking-
hung, I know where he hung out.
You just won
Downstairs. He hung out downstairs.
Okay, there's 2
Yes.
more. The Hotel
Daddy Thomas goes to the hotel.
We're gonna crowdsource these answers. That's what we're gonna do. All right, with Daddy, we're gonna give him the answer. Daddy Thomas, 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
Hey,
Give him
I
the
know where
prize.
he hung out down in housekeeping. If that helps.
It does help.
It does. All right. Okay. Cool.
The other 2 are Mary Yo and Miss Brom.
Okay.
All right. All right. We are here with Holly and Chris, and you guys are from Flemington, New Jersey, all the way from New Jersey. We got a trivia question for you. You ready? Okay. What hotel was here prior to the Hotel Bethlehem?
Eagle Hotel.
Eagle Hotel.
I get the prize.
You get a prize. George, we're here with
Ellen.
And where are you from?
Carlstadt, New Jersey.
Carlstadt, New Jersey. Okay, I got a question for you for a grand prize. Who painted the murals in the mural ballroom?
I don't know. I know the revolutionary people are in it. I don't know.
His name starts with a G.
It's not gonna be George Washington.
It's not George Washington.
But isn't he in them?
It's a George. It's not George. He's in them. That'd have been the first selfie of
There
all
you
time.
go. That was it.
George Bray.
Oh, that was it. I
Yeah,
had no
George
idea.
Bray. You still get a prize.
Oh,
You still
okay,
get a prize.
thank you.
Hello, we are here with.
Jackie Bochco.
And where are you from?
Bethlehem.
Bethlehem. All right, here's a trivia question about the Hotel Bethlehem. What kind of ice cream is sold at a Hotel B ice cream parlor?
Penn State Creamery.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Pick a prize.
The associates really are the heartbeat of the hotel.
We are here with Alan and Will. And where are you guys from?
Country, Pennsylvania.
Country, Pennsylvania. All right. Trivia question about the Hotel Bethlehem. How much did dinner at the hotel cost in 1938? $1.50. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Okay, we are here with
Kristen.
from
Bethlehem.
Chris from Bethlehem. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Nervous?
A little bit.
Okay. The Hotel Bethlehem opened in May of 1922. Who was the president of the United States when it opened? I'll admit, I didn't know this without reading.
Was it Taft?
It was not Taft.
Was it Thomas Jefferson?
No. His name is Warren.
Warren G. Harding?
Warren G. Harding.
Impossible.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a president.
Yeah. You still win. Okay.
He still wins. All right, we are here with, what's your name?
Camille.
Camille, and you are from Bethlehem, and you actually know the owner, right?
Yes, he's a friend of ours.
So you got a little inside track, so we're gonna find a good one here for you. Okay, in the mural ballroom, in what year were the murals painted?
1921.
1937. They still get a prize though. I don't know how
I
this is.
am a character I'm playing for
Okay,
the hotel.
I got you. So hopefully she knows this answer. What year did Bethlehem Steel sell the hotel? We're gonna give a lifeline. All right.
Do I get a lifeline now too? Our chef.
Say it.
1984.
You win!
You got it.
She's still over
She's
there.
still looking for lifeline. She doesn't know she won.
When she comes back to 1984.
1983.
4.
4.
84, she got it.
You got it. Fist bound.
All right, so you get
We figured out how to time travel here. We have a hospitality girl from the 70s. What year was the first house built on this site?
Well, that would be 1741.
I knew she'd know it.
No problem.
I knew she'd know
Nothing. Easy.
I have a question for you for the video. I know you don't know what video is because it wasn't invented.
I've never heard of video.
I know, but we've traveled from the future to ask you about the current.
Present?
Present.
All right.
Okay, in Hotel Bethlehem, where was the tap room located previously in the hotel?
I believe it was on the lower level. I believe it was down below us.
It is, you're right. He's got a great memory. Lower lobby.
You can go back to the past.
What's your name? Chris. Chris, and where are you from, Chris? Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, nice. Okay, because of the 18th Amendment, what part of the lobby was not built into the original 1922 design?
Really?
The bar. The bar.
That took way longer.
And then I got to 3.
Wait, what did you do? What happened?
I was working on a forklift attachment. Slipped off a forklift and my finger was thrown underneath, so that's never a good thing.
Well, that was fun.
That was interesting.
I hope you guys enjoyed that because we'll probably never be allowed back to film. No, they were great. Historic Hotel Bethlehem, always a fantastic time. You ever stayed there?
No, I never would stay there.
Why?
It's haunted. You know this.
You know,
I don't stay
No,
where
it's not like the hotel. It's some people flock to it because of that.
Yeah, not
which
this
is really
guy.
interesting. I've never been able to stay in some of the rooms that they tout may or may not be haunted. But after our wedding, we stayed over in the room below it, and I was secretly hoping I would be haunted, but nothing happened.
What a weird. Why would you go to a haunted hotel on your honeymoon night? Like,
It wasn't our honeymoon.
You want to have like another guest?
You
want to be alone with your brand new wife instead of some like ghost of whatever?
I thought it would be
George
a fun
Washington.
time.
I don't know what ghosts are.
Well, you don't when you live somewhere, you don't really get to stay overnight in a lot of the hotels in that area because you live there. So we thought it'd be a nice thing to do, and it was. It was a great time.
Anywhere there might be ghosts, I'm not going to be around it.
Well, that's a complete lie.
But I don't know going in. I'm not going to look. Should I stay at a Holiday Inn where I know nobody's ever said there's ghosts?
I think the
Or am I
Holiday
gonna go to
Inn
the
might have
definitely
more of
haunted-
a chance to be haunted than.
Well,
I'm just saying. And I'm saying that you're lying about not going anywhere where there are ghosts because we walked up the street from the Hotel Bethlehem to go to God's Acre, the Moravian community. God's Acre is a famous and old cemetery, and we have a piece here that we're going to be doing recurring, and we hope that we're going to visit a lot of different interesting historical areas in the Lehigh Valley and give you some facts about them.
Right, and basically somebody suggested God's Acre as a place to go. I like to go think, be alone with my thoughts.
Very, yes. You're a deep thinker.
But in this particular segment, George provided my thoughts, so I can't take any credit because you had them given to me from the internet.
Well, just watch.
There's one thought.
Tyler just wants to make sure that everyone knows that these he wants
These are
everyone
not
to make sure
even
they're
your
good
thoughts.
ones. Yeah.
They're the internet thoughts, except for one. One is actually my real thought. If you could figure out which one that is, you get a prize.
We'll tell you after this.
I wonder if your belly button is just your old mouth. Why does only one sock ever go missing? I bet if both went missing, then you'd notice. Why was it when I was younger I would sneak out to go to parties? But now that I'm older, I sneak out of parties to go home. What does the back of my head look like? I hate that coffee stains your teeth brown, but milk doesn't stain your teeth white. If I had a superpower, it would probably be invisible? No, flying. Maybe both. Gyms are weird. Just big buildings full of things that we throw around. Man, this cemetery is full of dead people, huh?
Scary times. I don't like it.
I'm impressed. So which one was yours?
I'm not going to tell people.
No?
Hopefully they guess. That's the whole
Okay.
point of a contest.
So it was fun.
It was fun.
That is the cemetery. Everything aside, it's one of the calmest, serene places that I know of in the Lehigh Valley.
Until you think about what's going on.
See, you're worried about ghosts. Do you know that the Moravians? True, they didn't look at death the same way like a lot of other Christian sects look at it. They I don't want to say they looked forward to it, but they weren't like scared of it.
I would assume they didn't look forward to it. I don't know.
They felt that, and somebody's gonna tell me I'm totally wrong, but from my understanding, they felt that when you died, you were going back to where you belonged. So it was a thing to be celebrated.
Right.
So it was a little bit different.
Well, I think in the future we'll hit some more historical landmarks, but they'll be my thoughts, not George's internet thoughts.
Yes. Obviously, there'll be Tyler's thoughts, so they'll be a little less good. I'm kidding. So speaking of being outside, we should send it over.
Your segues are really great.
Not good today?
No, they've always been pretty the same. You get like a C- across the board.
Every once in a while,
you get
I
a B.
pop out a good one.
Yeah.
All right, you handle this one then.
Well, I was gonna. I don't have a good segue.
Just making fun of me is a good segue.
But my thoughts, opinions, are different than the weather. These are factual. Well, not factual. Go do yours. Go ahead, do yours.
Here's Tony from Lehigh Valley Weather Authority with the weather.
Thanks, guys. Tony here from Lehigh Valley Weather Authority with your 5-day outlook. Another work week down and another week of winter, or lack thereof, in the books. We will head right into a pretty decent looking weekend. Sunny skies are expected on Saturday, The high temp of 47. Saturday's nighttime low down to 27. Sunday brings more sun and high temps around 50 degrees. Monday and Tuesday will bring in periods of some showers with highs in the mid to upper 40s and nighttime lows above freezing, so no worries of any icing. Now, periods of sun and clouds will return Wednesday with a high of 45 expected. However, we'll see the possibility of a system in the Thursday night time period. It is a few days out there, but with some brief pattern shifts being forecasted in this time period, it does raise the possibility of a short window that we could produce some snow. Last week, George and Tyler were questioning just where is winter. Allentown has received a whopping 5.3 inches of snow in the winter so far, the average winter bringing more than 20 inches by this point. So what has gone wrong? If you're a snow lover, of course. Well, to put it simply, there are two major factors that you need for snow: cold temperatures and the perfect track. And you've heard of La Nina and El Nino winters. Now, this is based on Pacific Ocean temperatures. This year, we are in an ENSO-neutral phase, meaning these Pacific Ocean temperatures are average, not colder like La Nina or warmer with El Nino. And this leads us into the AO, or Arctic Oscillation, which are upper air pressure patterns in the North Pole. And this is tracked by a positive or negative index. With a positive AO, the polar vortex spins tightly in the Arctic region and stays there. Negative AO, however, means just the opposite, allowing cold air to spill into North America. And this winter has been very well in the positive range of the AO, as you could probably tell by now. Then we look at the NAO, or North Atlantic Oscillation. To keep this very simple, this pertains to how storms track and the intensity. This is just another weather outlet based on positive or negative spectrum. Now, this winter has been in the positive, meaning many storms, but also very warm temperatures. The U.S. is in a very fast and very zonal weather pattern, meaning the jet stream is basically a straight line from the west coast to the east coast, keeping the storms moving very fast and having little north or south movement. There are certainly other factors that go into winter forecasting, and if you have any questions, I will certainly be happy to answer them. Don't forget to check out Lehigh Valley Weather Authority on Facebook. That's all I have this week. Thanks, and back to you guys.
Oh, thanks to Tony. Looking good.
I watched all of that, and I think I understood about half of it.
Oscillation is a word I know now.
But you're not getting weather like that anywhere else, I don't think. Tony's looking sharp, so we appreciate it. Please make sure you check him out, Lehigh Valley Weather Authority on Facebook. And
I want to know who tied his tie.
I think he can tie his own tie, Tyler. He's an adult male.
He didn't know how to tie the tie.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I
somebody
take
out
that
there,
back.
if you tied his tie, let us know.
Tony, don't get mad at me. I didn't know you didn't know how to tie a tie.
Yeah, but
I think he actually does.
We got a great guest coming up in a little bit. I'm very excited. We have Bart Yasso in the studio. You know him. He's worked for Runner's World, done hundreds and hundreds of races. But before that, we have a little word from one of our friends and sponsors here.
Go to it.
Throughout your life, you've worked hard to save money and build wealth while at the same time providing for your family. You've built a comfortable life full of shared memories and experiences. Working with Walter Investment Partners of Janney Montgomery Scott will help you create a financial blueprint designed to address your needs for planning, protecting, and preserving assets for you and your future generations. The sooner you begin, the sooner you can be at ease knowing that your financial plan will be at work for you and your family. Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
All right. Welcome back. We're excited to have retired Runner's World Chief Running Officer Bart Yasso in studio. Retired from Runner's World,
right,
but not from running. Did you run here this morning?
I didn't run here. I actually drove here.
What is the responsibilities of the Chief Running Officer? I know what a CEO does.
Yeah, CRO does. Well, a lot of people thought I was Chief Revenue Officer when they would just see CRO, but it was Chief Running Officer. Basically what I did is I just kept the running community connected to Runner's World and all the products that we have besides the magazine, our website, and all the books that we did. And for 31 years, I traveled the world to events extensively, all over the world. But obviously a lot of the concentration was domestically. I did a lot of travel in the U.S. I've been everywhere across the country, but I also been everywhere all over the world. I mean, might find many people have done races in the Arctic Circle, Antarctica. I've done races in Iraq, Afghanistan. I mean, all over the world.
And I'm always curious how people get into it. You know, I ran in high school and college, and you and I kind of dabble on the treadmill. Well, we'll talk about what you're going to be doing soon.
Yeah,
but
New York City Marathon.
How did you get started?
Well, I got to thank my brother George. You know, unfortunately passed away in 2003, but he was really my mentor, and he's the one who, you know, when I personally started running to get in shape, we're talking late 70s, and George was the one that convinced me I could actually be good at this, and I didn't believe him. But he knew more than I did, and so he challenged me to a race, and this is, you know, 40 years ago. And we raced this 10K, and I thought I'd kill him because he was a bigger guy. And I thought, I could kill him in this race. And he passed me and beat me at the end of that race. But that's the only race he ever beat me. Yeah. I got more serious after that and realized what he was talking about, that I could be good at it. And
was that when you were in high school, or how old were you?
No, I would have been 22 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I got serious, and I've been steadily running for 43 years, and absolutely still love it. Even though I slowed down a lot with age and doing it for 43 years, I absolutely still get the joy out of it and the fun part of it.
Well, too, like being able to travel as much as you do.
Wow.
You know, what are some of you mentioned you raced in Iraq, you're showing us in the green room some of those crazy photos from what is like some of your memorable races you've been a part of?
Yeah, well, one of my early work assignments at Runner's World back in the 80s, I did this race called the Badwater 146. And when I got into that race, I had a lot of marathons under my belt.
146?
146 miles,
okay.
Yeah. So I had a lot of races, 26.2 miles, the marathon distance, but I never went past that. But everyone at Runner's World said, Bart's the guy to do it, send him out there, he'll run 146 miles in Death Valley in July, where it literally is 123.
Like your coworkers are volunteering you.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to need a raise.
Yeah, sounds like you two guys. Volunteer each other for the duty no one really wants to do. And that's really what happened. But I just remember at the start of the race there were only 7 runners in the race. And the race director said, we're going to start the Badwater 146.
How many finished?
I think 4 of us.
Are they still there?
Yeah. But I do remember that race director, he had a little starter's pistol. He said, 1 minute to go to the start of the Badwater 146. And I was like, that 146 got stuck between my ears, because I was like, you know, I never really ran past 26.2 miles in my life. This race is 120 miles longer than I've ever run, let alone 123-degree temperatures and the mountains you run up in Death Valley. But it was, because of that race, it really opened up doors for me, because then I convinced myself, hey, if you did this thing, you know, take on any assignment, go wherever, and do whatever distance. And
they say that when you run a marathon, the 18-mile mark is like you hit a little bit of a wall. Where is the wall, or is there multiple walls?
Yeah, well, you're gonna. Your wall is right around Harlem when you run the New York City Marathon in November. But, you know, they talk about this wall. It really doesn't exist. People create the wall by starting too quickly and not preparing properly.
Yeah.
You know, I knew I was running 146 miles, so I really paced myself, and I knew I was in extreme conditions. It really is 123 degrees in the afternoon when you're out there running, and it was brutal. And when it's 123 degrees ambient air, the blacktop's like 140. And the sand, which is right next to you, is about 160. And this warm air just rises and just melts your legs when you're out there running.
And without getting into too much detail, I mean, do you stop at all?
Well, if you got to pee, you're not going to run and pee at the same time. But yeah, no, you just continuously run. The worst thing you could do is stop, because, you know, if you stop and say, oh, this feels great.
How long? 24 hours?
No, longer than that. Yeah, it was because I remember a whole night passed, and then the next day you get that. And when the finish line was on top of Mount Whitney, which is 14,500 feet, which is the highest mountain in the contiguous 48 states.
Yeah.
But when you're fit, you can do this kind of stuff. And I was younger and fit, so it was.
Because I can't imagine running 100 miles and then be like, oh, we're almost done.
Yeah.
We only have 46 to go.
Tyler, it's funny you said that, because You know, when you run New York City Marathon, you're going to see a mile marker every mile, 1 mile, 2 miles, and then you know once you get 24, you're going to be like, I only got 2 miles to go. But Badwater, they had a sign 25 miles, 50 miles, 75 miles. They had one at the 100-mile mark.
Yeah.
And then right after it said only 46 miles to go, and I thought that was easy. I thought, I only got 46 miles to run. I got it made, and then you can actually look off to your right, and you can see the top of Mount Whitney, which is snow covered.
That's where you're going.
That's where you're going. And right now you're still just coming out of the valley floor. And so you realize at the end of this race, you're going to climb 14,500 feet. So it's...
I'm interested. You started, you know, the 70s. I'm sure that was really when the running boom, because Frank Shorter won the
Frank
Olympics.
Shorter won the Olympics, silver medal in 76, a gold medal in 72.
And that's when the running boom really happened. So a lot of people, they saw the benefits from it. Have you, like, from that time to now, is there a difference in the running community?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, back in the 70s, we were called the loneliness of the long-distance runner because we were out there just running along in the country roads. And now you go out there and there's hundreds of people out there running. So it has changed tremendously. It's gone from a smaller sport to a bigger sport. Women came into the sport gangbuster, which really increased the numbers. And that wasn't going on in the 60s or 70s. There weren't as many women because they weren't encouraged to do it. But now they are, and there's all these groups. And it was fun, you know, when I think back to physically watch this transition happen, where it went from a small sport to you're going to line up with 55,000 runners at New York City Marathon.
I know, he keeps reminding me that I'm doing it. I tried to, well, that's what you're talking about. I run, you know, a little here and there.
You can go out and run
Georgia,
5 miles.
good run. Yeah.
And I was telling you before, I went out and went for a run. I had a show in Philly. I had to go out to Philly after. And I didn't know how far I went. And then I drove it off, how far, in my car. And then I went right to my show. And it ended up being 6 miles. And I'm feeling good about myself. I'm like, I just ran 6 miles. I'm heading to my show. And I'm on the turnpike. And I get to what I think is, I got to be at my exit. Okay. Right? I've been on the turnpike forever. And I looked down at my odometer. And it said 25.8 miles.
You're not even done.
I'm like, I would not even be done with this marathon. And I'm tired of driving. So that really, I can't understand. I can't fathom.
I can't wait.
I mean, I can't wait.
I ran in high school and I ran at Moravian College, and then I stopped for a while. I'm trying to get back into it, and it's like that dedication. Even if it's cold out, I go I'll run on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're out there. You were showing us a picture of the one course you had where you're running through a river.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, and it was called the Algonquin 50K, a 31-mile race.
That's a light jaunt.
Yeah, and they really set up. You're either running in sand or your legs are underwater. It's crazy, this course, but it's awesome.
Who is this monster that set up this course?
Yeah, this Trent guy. There's ways that we could have stayed dry and out of sand, and it could have been a lot easier, but he doesn't want that. He wants you to go out there and suffer, because he doesn't do the race.
Yeah.
He just puts it on. He starts the race, and then he sits back and, you know, he's having a good life, staying at the finish line and living it up, and then he gets to watch the mud and the blood and all the gory stuff come in, and that he loves it.
What's interesting about your career is that, you know, you talk to a lot of people that cover sports. Like we talked to Jack McCallum. Now, not that he was a basketball player, but he didn't play as he wrote, right? Yeah. You are covering a sport, but also participating in it actively, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what part did you? When you got the job, were you like, well, we know you can run, but can you write? Or which one did you have to do better at?
Actually, to run, because I really, you know, went to all these events. I had to stay fit all the time. So I always looked at it as fun. Like I used to we had a little board where you'd say where you were, and I could just go to that board at noon and say, heading out to do 10 miles, I'll be back at 1:20 or whatever. Yeah. And I thought, man, not many people get to do that for a living. So I always, you know, I loved running, and I felt, man, when I got my job at Runner's World, what a great gig, and I loved it for 31 years. And I only retired just because it was time to retire. Right. Let someone young do what I did. I mean, you know, I spent hours and hours on airplanes flying around the world, and I never even thought anything of it when I was young. Now I'm like, no, okay, I don't want to live in a plane anymore for doing these 24-hour flights and all this craziness I used to do.
You talk about the youth. You showed us, you told us a story about you and your 15-year-old granddaughter.
Yeah, yeah.
Reiterate that, because I want to give her a little bit.
Yeah, so she trashed me on the elliptical the other day, and I was, I was proud of her because I was trying. It's my stepdaughter, and she trashed me on the elliptical, beat me up, and I was hurting, and she didn't even have a sweat, and water's pouring off me. I had to go clean up the elliptical when I was done, and she's like looking at me, and then we get back to the house, and we're gonna have dinner, and she's sitting on the couch, I'm sitting on a chair right next to her, and of course she doesn't talk to me, she Snapchats me, and she had to snap me a photo with her arm on my shoulder that I tried. You tried is what she said, and I thought, oh my God.
Well,
It's fun, yeah. You have to inspire the youth because we want people to be fit. I spent a lot of time talking to kids, and I want kids to get this fitness and healthy lifestyle at a young age so they carry it through the rest of their life. I got what I love about social media is I connect with people and then I hear from them years later sometimes.
Yeah.
And I just got a message. I used to speak out of school in Allentown a lot to the kids. And apparently when I was speaking to the kids, the principal was always looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
And he decided to make a change in his life, lost over 100 pounds, and now signed up to do his first marathon.
Wow.
And he sent me a nice message. He said, he said, when I realized I had to make a change and I want to lose weight, and I picked running as my way, change his lifestyle and what he was eating, but also use running as a way to lose weight. He said, I thought of all those stories you were telling the kids. And I didn't even know he was there, to be honest, but he must have been somewhere. Right. And it was cool to get a message from him. He reached out to me and told me that, he lost over 100 pounds and now he signed up for his first marathon. It made me happy.
Yeah. You talk about traveling and seeing a bunch of the country and the world.
Yeah.
How does the Lehigh Valley's running, community compare?
We have a great running scene here. We have we have good running stores here. We have a great running club. We got great places to run. That's what makes it enjoyable when you head out and have pretty places to run, and that's what we have here. So we have such a vibrant running community, and everyone thinks when they pick up running, they're going to run in the summertime. That's when it's the best. And then they realize that's kind of hard when it's really warm. So wintertime comes along and they're in heaven going out and running. As long as it's not crazy cold.
What would be if you don't have to give it away if you don't want to, but if you had the place to run in the Lehigh Valley.
I was just going to ask that.
Your favorite place to go, where would it be?
Yeah, any of the trails on South Mountain are right up my alley. The steeper, the better. I just always used to.
Masochist.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I used to do a workout when I was younger, and I could do it pretty fast. I can't do it that fast anymore. Called it the Bermuda Triangle. Started down at where Arts Quest is, and run up to the mountain, and then all the way down the other side, down to where Lehigh's outdoor track is, and then come back up the mountain, then run down the other side, down to the 5 Points, and then turn around and come back up, and then back to Arts Quest. So you did 3 sides of the mountain. I called it the triangle. And we called it the Bermuda Triangle because every time I did it with a runner, there was always a runner that didn't make it somewhere. We had to go out with a car and kind of find that person because we were like, So there was always a lost person on that run.
I've done that, maybe not the whole thing, but I've done it in Moravian College. Shout out to Coach Will Weber. In Moravian College at the time, he used to send us up that mountain too. I mean, back then, you weren't even thinking about it. You're right. It was just like, this is what I do is run. And
do all 3 sides of it and feel good about it. And
think when you eat something good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's what it's all for, right?
Yeah.
Eat a big burrito or...
No, actually it's pretty... It's smoothie and a banana.
No. If I'm doing all that, I'm getting like a whole pizza or something.
Speaking of beer, have you ever done one of those beer miles?
No, but I witnessed the beer mile many times. I still can't believe that somebody can run the mile
for those who don't know,
in under 5 minutes, and in that 5 minutes they had to drink 4 12-ounce beers.
So they shoot the gun and chug a beer.
The race starts, the gun goes off, and they chug a 12-ounce beer. They got to show that they drank it all, and then they can start running. They do a quarter mile, drink another one, quarter mile, drink another one, quarter mile, drink another one, and then all out to finish.
Are there any around here?
I think I've done that.
We should do. We could
an uncredited beer run.
Yes,
I've
done.
There's more downtown running.
Yeah,
I gotta get to.
There's more uncredited beer miles out there. Like a group of guys or a group of runners will get together. I just guys and women and say, okay, we're gonna go out and do this beer mile, and they just set it up somewhere and have fun doing it. But there are it's a real competitive race. I couldn't believe how serious these guys were about running a mile and drinking 4 beers in that amount of time.
one or the other.
And most people say that they couldn't do either. They can't run a mile in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and they couldn't even drink 4 beers in 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
I think you could.
I could probably do it. But you're obviously retired, but you're not so much slowing down, right? You're going. I know you're staying pretty active.
Yeah,
You're going
I'm
to Tampa
staying
tomorrow.
active. I slowed down my pace with time and stuff, but I haven't slowed down on the races I go to and connecting with the running community, and I still get so many invitations to go to races all over the world. So I don't go to as many as I used to. I really look at places that I really want to visit, and I still go to some, still fairly busy.
Yeah.
But not 40. I used to do about 45 trips a year that I flew somewhere to, and then probably another 20 that I would drive. If it was New York City or D.C. or Philly, I would drive.
You ever run to one?
What's that?
Have you ever run to a race?
Yeah, and I used to ride my bike to a lot of races in the old
guy's
days.
unbelievable.
I've ridden my bike across the United States twice by myself.
Wow.
Yeah. And I always tell people, out of all the running I did, actually the most fun athletic thing I've ever done is riding my bike across the United
riding
States.
a bike, you get to go down hills. That's fun.
Yeah, that's true.
You can coast, but
I don't think he does
but
a
I
lot
did
of
it in 20
coasting.
days. Yeah, you don't coast when you're doing it.
Did you ride? Was it for anything in particular?
No,
or?
it was my vacation. Flew out to the West Coast, started northwest of Seattle, and finished in Asbury Park, New Jersey. And first time it took me 20 days. Second time it took me 18 days. And the only reason I did it twice, because when I did it the first time, I finished and I said, man, I would go out and do this again right now, but I know I got to get to work tomorrow. And then so I just waited 2 years and did it again, and just.
You had to get to work back here tomorrow.
Yeah, so I started. Yeah,
like, well, I better get
and I
pedaling.
rode my bike to work. It's so funny. My colleague, my coworkers at Runner's World were all tuning in on my trip, and then they all had this bet like on Monday after he's ridden. I rode about 3,100 miles in 20 days, and compare that like the Tour de France, they do 2,100 miles in 30 days. So 3,100 miles in 30 days or 20 days, a lot of riding. And so they said he'll never ride his bike to work on Monday. They knew I finished that Sunday, and they said he'll. So they had this whole bet, and I didn't know anything about it. I come cruising into work on my bike that Monday, and they all looked at me like, "Oh, we wouldn't think you would go near your bike for like a week." I told them all. I said, if I had vacation and could do it, I would do it all over again right now.
I see why you retired. Your coworkers gave you a lot of grief.
Yeah. It's like being here.
Right.
So we've been kind of scuttling around it. Let's talk about you running the New York City Marathon as we finish up
I'm excited
here.
that Tyler's going to do it.
And Tyler, you're on television telling everyone you're going to do it.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I shouldn't have done that.
No, I think it's good.
Yeah, now it's.
So what are you going to do? How are you going to help Tyler get in shape?
Well, just follow a
shape.
program to do it, and I know you can do it. But when they say the New York City Marathon is a race like no other, they really mean it. Because, the Summer Olympics has 130 countries represented in the Summer Olympics. New York City Marathon has like 150 countries represented. You go out to that starting line, and you can't find anyone that speaks English. You hear all these languages, you're trying to figure out where everybody's from. I remember the last time I did it, I was waiting for the gun to go off, and then, we were resting before we had to get over to the starting area, and I'm leaning against the runner, and she has her back to me, and I have my back to her, and we're just leaning. And I turned around. I said, I should actually introduce myself. Because we're laying back to back, just because there's nowhere to go. And I look at her, and I said, wow, you're Tibetan. And she goes, no one ever said that to me before, but I am Tibetan.
Yeah.
But she had those cheekbones. I could tell I'd been to Tibet. I knew she was Tibetan. She looked at me like, how do you know that? And I said, well, you can't mistake that Tibetan look.
Yeah.
And we just had a great conversation, and then we headed out to the start, and we've been friends ever since, just through social media, and occasionally I see her at a race, but you just find it's fascinating to go to that start and see people from 150 countries. You feel like it's as close to an Olympic event as a non-Olympic athlete will find.
Well, I'm very not an Olympic athlete. I'm very far from it, but I'm excited. Bart, thanks for coming on. This was
thank
a pleasure.
you.
These stories were great.
Thank you so much.
You guys do a great job, and I absolutely love living in the Lehigh Valley. I mean, I've traveled the world, and I everyone asks me where I'm from, and I always say Bethlehem, and then if they've never heard of Bethlehem, I say Philly. But I talk about the Lehigh Valley. It is an awesome place to
Yeah.
live. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Well, we
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
having you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you, George. Thank you,
you.
Tyler.
We'll be back with our musical guest. We are back with our musical guest, Christopher Duddy.
I just saw, by the way, Bart is running laps in the parking lot
Bart-
right now. He's still running. He's that guy. I have shin
He's
splints
on-
talking to him.
He brought a treadmill so he could run while he watched the rest of us. But Chris, thank you so much
Yes.
for coming on. Singer-songwriter out of Emmaus.
Yes.
We were talking, you're from New Jersey.
New Jersey,
So
that's okay.
Yeah,
That's all right.
we're not going to hold that against you.
Yeah, no.
you can.
A little
You're
bit.
not a Giants fan, are you?
I am actually.
Cut the segment. He's out. We can't do this.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been playing? You know.
Well, have been number one. Thanks for having me. I really
Sure,
appreciate it. But I've been playing since I started on drums when I was about 6, and then I moved to saxophone. So I've been playing since I was 6, and then I moved to keyboard and then guitar. And then I basically stayed on guitar for a while, and then I've learned other instruments since. But been a lifelong. I grew up. My parents, or especially my dad, was a big musician, so he always, during family parties, or he would always be playing. So I was always around it.
Were you the guy in the college part? I tried to do this a couple times, where you bring out the acoustic guitar.
That was totally you.
That was me. I'm like, hey, ladies.
Trying to
It was
serenade
never-
some girl.
Oh yeah, and then everyone would tell me to stop. And I'd be like, just play louder.
Like, what are you doing? So, how long have you been in the Valley then, from Jersey?
Oh, about 7 years.
Okay, and been playing the whole time since then?
Yeah, pretty much. I've been in multiple bands. I was in a band, Three-Legged Fox, for a while, which was a touring band, and we went, all across the United States and some parts of Canada and stuff. And we got off a tour, and we kind of wasn't sure what we were going to do, if we were going to continue. So, and we didn't end up continuing touring, by the way. But I moved in with my brother. And my mom in Lehigh Valley in Allentown.
Nice.
And then as I was there, I met the love of my life, and we have 2 kids now, and we're
congrats.
we're living in Emmaus, and it's wonderful.
Lehigh
Thank
Valley
you.
works out.
And
It does,
playing
yes.
songs, right? Is that what you did? Did you serenade?
Of course,
Nice.
of course.
I
That's
can't
actually, I'm
resist
pretty
it.
sure.
It didn't
Yeah,
work
it's
for
like
George.
failed.
George had to
But-
show his personality.
And then it was
Somehow
even
worked.
It did. I don't know
Spite,
how.
yes.
But yeah, we're excited to have. Before you play, can you
Yes.
tell us how people can find out more about you or get in touch to book you?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's my phone number, my address. No, I'm just kidding. But go. I have a Facebook page. I'm / Christopher Duddy.
Okay.
And I'm working on a website now, but I'm not very good at it, so I'm trying to do it myself. So
Yeah.
if anyone knows anybody that
This guy knows.
oh, well,
Yeah, we
there
can
you
hear
go.
Perfect. All
Yeah,
right.
beautiful.
Well, hey,
But yeah.
we're excited to hear you play, and let's get to it.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful.
Sweet.
Thank you.
You can't give up, girl, don't you know we can. Into the dark, I watched as the night followed the sun. But counting stars, counting days since you've been gone. And if you're always going back and forth, you will find it's you that's blocking the way. And you say that it's a loss when it's staring you in the face. Hey. Ooh. A million miles above the clouds is where I'll be. Find me. Will you find me? Oh yeah. Looking through your telescope, but it's still too far. You can't see. Will you find me? spin your focus out. You feel the colors turning to gray. But you say that it's gone when it's staring you in the face. Hey. Oh, will you find me? And I'm headed straight for the stars. We lead the way and never stop. No, as long as you follow your signals are out of tune. Connection fades away from you, yeah, but I make it on my This next one's lived for a while. I'm telling you a story of a girl. Well, it was me and her against the world, but it's over now. At the time I felt like home, but now my thoughts ashes and shattered stone. And now I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Saying life is getting out of hand, and that you're doing everything you can, but it's not enough. Oh, when you're scared of what's becoming you, but you need a different point of view, 'cause it's alright. Well, 'cause lying on the floor and out of breath, and you're scratching at the surface till there's nothing left. Well, I hope an angel finds you when I know there's nothing I can do. When you tell yourself it's too late, oh, why won't you obey? Oh, and live for a while. We're driving down the road again, seeing things so clearly this time in my head. And now you told them I'm back to stay, but there's nothing you can do to make me change my mind and stay. No, no, there's nothing you can do. That one's lying on the floor, you're out of breath. When you scratch away the surface till there's nothing left. When I hope an angel finds you, when I know there's nothing I can do. When you tell yourself it's too late, oh, why won't you obey? Oh, no, now and live for a while. Oh, and live for a while.
Dude, that was great, man.
Thank you
That's
so much.
Chris Duddy. Chris.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
It was great.
What are some of the inspirations for those songs? Like,
Oh, I mean, I'm a '90s guy, so like for one, I listened to a lot of like Radiohead, like from the '90s. Listened to a lot of like, but besides that, like the Beatles, Bob Marley was always a huge thing for me.
You ever listen to any Guar?
Guar, Meat Sandwich is one of my favorite songs, actually.
We're working on getting them on the show. It's going to take a while, but no, that was fantastic. So again, everybody look up Christopher Duddy on Facebook. That's how you get in touch. And thank you so much.
Maybe see him around Emmaus, right? With
Yes,
your
I'm
family?
actually tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow I'm playing at House and Barn in Emmaus.
Well, that's Friday.
7 to 10.
Were you? Yeah. Okay. Well,
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Because this will air on Friday, so he played right now somewhere.
No, I feel like I'm on the Tonight Show and I messed up. But yeah. So tonight.
But you can find out more information on your Facebook and check them out. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And thank you, everybody. Remember, check out Lehigh Valley Weather Authority.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say a quick shout out again to my family, my loving family, Stacy, Haven, Avriel, Rain, and Silas, our newborn. So he's 10 months now. But shout
That's
out
like the
to them.
nicest thing that we've ever had on here.
Thank you, and thanks again, guys. Seriously, it means a lot.
Next week.
You can't give up, girl. Don't